Hi, and welcome to the Full Weight of Joy podcast, the podcast for women who are done stressing about the weight of the world, of expectations and settling for status quo, and ready to step into the full weight of joy. Joy in the journey, whether up or down, joy through the life's challenges, and joy in loving your life right where you are, even though sometimes we feel like chucking it all and moving to Bali. It's for women who are ready to step into who God called them to be. He chose you to be in this world. He created you for a specific purpose. God called us to be the light on a hill, and by embracing who you are and whose you are, you can stand on that hill and shine. The best part, when you're standing next to another woman who's also on the journey, the world gets brighter. My name is Tami. I am your host and a master certified life coach and a trained therapist. For over a decade, I've been helping women do just that. Step into who they're called to be and shine. Are you ready, friend, to start your journey? Let's do this. I am excited you're here. Today I'm gonna branch out a little bit. I'm going to do something a little different. And this is because this is what I needed recently. I needed a good kick in the pants. I needed a dose of accountability, and I needed to keep myself accountable. I needed to actually decide if I'm going to go for what I want. And so I want to do the same thing for you, because I was talking to a friend who's a coach, and she's like, Tami, I need that too. And so as I was talking, I was like, okay, if two of us need this, then most likely one of you listening, it might be you, may need this as well. And so I just want to talk for a moment about holding yourself accountable. I want to talk and I want to encourage you, and I give you a lovingly coach kick in the butt of what you so many times. I'm going to bring this closer, my mic closer so you can hear me better. So there's good audio on this. How many times is there something that you want that you haven't defined? We as women, we use words like, oh, I need something different. I need more. I want something more. There's something I even in my life, I'm like, oh, I'm doing a thing. Define what it is that you want. And I think one of the reasons why we don't define it is because there's whether we don't feel like we deserve it, we feel like it's too ambitious, we feel like it is, we have a good life already and it's selfish to want more. We may think that we're not worthy of something, or we've been taught, and it's not a bad thing to make it your life mission to serve others. My Enneagram 2 is out there. I get this. I have a strong 2 wing. I love serving people. I love helping. I love guiding. I love watching someone who is, has a need and it's fulfilled. I love it. And it's even cooler if I get to be part of that. Right. So I love impacting others. And then we pour out and we pour out and we pour out and we do, and we listen to what other people, and we're like, yeah, girl, get it. No, you deserve that. You're worth it. Yes, go. You've been working for this. Go get it. And then when it comes to ourselves, we downplay. We don't acknowledge. We have this inner desire to do something more, to have this thing that's ours, this thing that God's put on our heart to give us freedom, to give us financial freedom, to give us spiritual freedom, to give us relationship freedom, to give us time freedom. At this point in my life, if I had time freedom is what I crave. I want to do what I want when I want to, because I want to do it. Can I get an amen there? Who else would love to be able to do what they want when they want to? And then there's that sense of responsibility. We wear the weight of we wear the weight of the world on our shoulders, but even something heavier than that, we wear the weight of our kids, of our families, the responsibility of taking care of those people who mean the most to us. We wear that on our shoulders. And when we weigh that down, when we put that on as a cloak of this cloak of responsibility, we don't feel like there's room for us to try something different. And I wanted to share with you the fact that if you want something different, you have to try something different. You have to get out of what's always been done, the thoughts that this has always been done this way. I've always thought this. I've always wanted it, never was capable. You're capable of so much more. Do you realize that you have been raising, you created in your body, you created little humans. If you are an adoptive mom, if you are a surrogate, like use a surrogate, whatever, you are, now that you have them, like you are crafting these little people. You're capable of so much more than you realize. We are influencing people every time we breathe, every smile we offer, every tear we cry. We are influencing people. God doesn't give us that weight without it having something else attached to it. Like there's not just when you're doing motherhood, that's not it. There's not that's your sole purpose in life. Our purpose with motherhood is to help our kids like leave the nest. Like we're working ourselves out of a job. And so many times we are at that point where it's like, now what? And there's that push and pull of, I have more time, I have more freedom, I have more resources that don't need to go to my kids, that really shouldn't, because at this point, like as they're teenagers and as they're, leave the nest, like we want them to start taking ownership in their life and in their responsibility. And we want to show them that it's an awesome thing to be an adult. We want to show them that they can do hard things. Well, in order to show them that they can do hard things, we have to be willing to do hard things too. We need to look at what we want and define it and then decide whether we feel like we're worthy or not. Like this is where a good girlfriend comes in. This is why everyone should have a coach, because there's things that I have said and I'm like, I wish. And my coach says, why not? I already see it within you. I already knew that about you a year ago, 2 years ago. I was just waiting for you to catch up. There's things within you that others see, that we have these blind spots because it comes natural to us. It comes, we almost take it for granted because it is so easy for us. But if we don't acknowledge what those are, if we don't get clear on what this more is, if we don't start defining what more and the thing is and this freedom that we're looking for, we do this. The reason why we don't define is because then we don't have to hold ourselves accountable. We don't have to feel guilty for not doing something because we didn't know what we're doing in the first place. I have big dreams. I recently, with my coach, we looked back at the last 5 years because my business is about 4.5 years old. My podcast is about 3.5 years. I think I have my years right. It is, 4.5 years old. So I am pushing the 5-year mark. Like I am less than 6 months away from that 5-year mark that most businesses will fail within 5 years. And there's struggles. I'm shifting and I'm growing and I'm stretching and I'm allowing God to refine me, as you should also let God refine you. And with that, there's things that I struggle with. There's things that I don't feel like I've measured up. There's things that I see and I'm like, I wish that I would have held myself accountable. I wish I would have put more energy here and less there. And she corrected me and she's like, but Tami, you've kept going. You didn't know where you were going when you started. And I was like, no, I still don't know where I'm going. And she's like, exactly. But we have a vision. We have an idea. And every time we get the clarity, we refine it slightly. But we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to get past I don't feel worthy. We get a choice to say, okay, well, just because I feel it doesn't mean it's true. Go ask your girlfriend. She will tell you you're worthy of it. And if she doesn't, then it's the wrong girlfriend. Go and you know what girlfriend I'm talking about. Go to the one who is going to be real with you, who is going to be like, I don't understand what you're doing, but I see it in you. I have faith and I will support you no matter if I understand it or not. But even more so because there's a lot of my friends who I love dearly who don't understand what I'm doing and they don't support my decisions. Many times I've said, well, why don't you just go work for a company that needs a coach and you can just coach for them? It would be a lot easier. And I was like, but it wouldn't be in alignment. It wouldn't be with what God's called me to. And that doesn't get me what I want. So you have to define what you want. If you want to hold yourself accountable, you got to define what you want. What are you accountable to? What is it? And again, for the longest time, it was really hard for me to envision like the benefits, the places I could go. Like I travel often, but it's usually for a purpose. Like to travel just to go lay on a beach like, is like a dream, right? I mean, I travel a lot and I spend time on the beach briefly, but then I'll go speak at an engagement, or I will go and, I'm taking the kids, or there's something there. There's something else. And I'm like, to travel for travel's sake. That is one thing. I love traveling for work, but I also to like have that caveat of, but it can just be to go and to decompress and to reset. I can just go get on a lake and, rent a boat for a day. We have lakes all around us just because I want to. And I want to have the life that that I'm able to. And that's when my coach says, well, you already have that life. Embrace it. And it's that when I got clear, I was like, wow, I do. I get to do what I want for the most part. Now it's like, okay, Tami, do you want to pour gasoline on this? Do you want to continue it? Do you want to be able to have the freedom to do that and not just the ability to do that? And there's a difference there. The freedom to do it means that you don't have to feel guilty about doing it. You don't have to justify. I justify so many things, and mostly to myself. But when I started holding myself accountable and showing up, it's like, okay, Tami, this is what you really want, and it's okay to want it. What are you willing to do to get it? And when I got clear on that, and well, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing 2 podcasts a week instead of just 1, because like showing up on social does not light me up all that much, but showing up here for the podcast really does. Doing posts and like, I love writing. I have a book coming out in October and I'm in edits for that. In fact, I have like 5 days to get the rest of my edits to my editor. So I better get that. I'll hold myself accountable and get that done. The thing is that if I did not look at what I wanted and said, okay, this is working, this isn't. This is where I'm going to hold myself accountable and this is what I'm going to let go of, then it wouldn't work. If I was trying to hold myself accountable to everything, and like you try to do everything, you actually end up doing nothing. But the key here, and I don't want to, like, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, and I hope that you're following me. And the biggest thing is that we all come to this moment where we get to decide what we're going to be defined by. We get to decide if we're going to let the things of the past, our past habits, our beliefs, our circumstances, what we wanted in the past, are we going to allow that to define us? Or are we going to say, you know what? That was good. It got me to where I want to be now, where I am now. But that's not good enough for my future. I want so much more. And when I want so much more, I also want the impact. I want what God has for me. I want to experience all of that. And I think you do too. So we've got to get clear and we got to stop feeling like we don't deserve things. We got to stop downplaying our desires or quieting that whisper that when God says we need to do something, and you know what I'm talking about. If you feel it, you know it. Like you can't really define it, but you know that there's this, like God has something building inside your knower. Like it's a sense of purpose, a sense of legacy, a sense of impact. This is like, there's something more. And again, I'm not going to define what more is here because I want you to define it for yourself. What is the thing that you want to build? Is it an MLM? Do you Beachbody and Arbonne and Sensi? I have friends who do all of that. And I have friends who do really well with it. And I have friends who struggle with it. And the difference is the beliefs that they hold about it. Do you want to start a business? I have a client who is doing soaps, and bath bombs. She has a thriving business with soaps and bath bombs. And she's like, Tami, I'm doing okay, but I want to do great. And it took her a while to admit that. And now it's like, okay, well, let's pour gasoline on it. And then what becomes possible when you do great? And she's like, well, then I can donate more to the local women's shelter. And I was like, yeah. She's like, and I can donate not only my bath bombs and different things, but I can donate money and my time as well. If I am making more, then I'll have more time to do these things. And I was like, absolutely. She's like, and then I also get to spend more time with my kids. And I was like, 100%. I was talking with another client who is, she wants a little more freedom. She doesn't want to quit her job, but she wants a little more freedom in her finances. And so we're looking at what could a side gig be for her that fits her lifestyle, that fits what she wants. And I have a story. Let me write this down so I don't forget. About doing something that you find out doesn't fit your lifestyle. I have a story about that too. And we had to hold ourselves accountable to that as well. But the idea of sitting and defining what you want, in 5 years from now, if you had a magic wand, what would you be doing? Where would you be going? And I want to challenge you to sit and think about that. Think about what vision you have for your life. And I know that creating a vision board is a pretty cool thing. And they're great, and there's some limitations to it. And there's some things with that. And I'm going to do either a podcast. I actually have a PDF on why your vision board isn't working for you, because there's a couple things you can add to make it work more. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. If you're interested in that, like DM me on Instagram and I'll send it to you, because it's actually really good. It's a really good resource. Yeah, it's a really good resource. I'm trying to think of the word for it. PDF, like it's journal. It's a like little prompt things that help you get clearer on your vision board. It's more than just pretty pictures and like motivational words. If you want to create a vision for yourself, for your life, there's a few things you need to get clear on first. And so there's that. So if you are interested in that, like I said, just DM me on Instagram and I will send it to you. It's free but it's great. But holding yourself accountable also means defining what you want, and that it's okay to go bigger. It's okay to pivot, to change, to shift what you always thought you wanted into something that you really do want now. And so what would that look like for you? If in 5 years you can be in the ideal place in your life, you can live your ideal life, you can have the ideal work-life balance, you can have a job or whether it's or you own your own business that is on your terms. There's never been more opportunities, like with remote work and so many entrepreneurial areas, so many MLMs that are solid companies. There's so many ways that you can do something for yourself. But it all goes back to that holding yourself accountable. If you're not willing to hold yourself accountable, you're never going to get what you want. If you're not willing to do something different and stretch and get out of your comfort zone and push past those fears, if you're not willing to act, you're not going to get what you want, because it doesn't just magically happen. Like so many times we're waiting for the stars to align and just to be graced. And it's like we get to partner with God in action. And so I needed to hear this. I needed to sit down with myself and say, okay, Tami, what are you willing to set down in order to get what you want? What do you really want now? Because what I have now is not what I envisioned. And it's so much more, because I chose to take the purpose that I believe God was calling me to what it is. My purpose is to help people find their purpose and their calling and identity, to really understand who they are. My calling and the way I chose to do this, the way that God's guided me, is through coaching. There's other ways to do it. Your purpose has multiple ways. First, you got to embrace your purpose and just go with it. God will refine it. He will refine it, refine it. He will send it through the fire and he will shape it. You got to start somewhere. I honestly don't think that pinpointing your exact purpose is even necessary. It's really what is God telling us now? Because it shifts and grows and morphs, and it transcends you when you start aligning, when you start being obedient, when you start partnering with God. But if we don't hold ourselves accountable and say, okay, Tami, I am willing to get uncomfortable to have something I've never had before. I'm willing to push past the feelings of lack or the feelings of unworthiness, or that I don't know what I'm doing, or that I don't deserve something greater. We have to be willing to push past those feelings, those old beliefs that are holding us back, that's keeping us safe, in order to get something different. The best way to hold yourself accountable is to find someone who's also holding themselves accountable. It's it's hard to do it alone because sometimes it gets those fears and those thoughts and those beliefs, they seem real. They seem true. They seem like it's a lot scarier than it really is. You don't have to hold yourself back, but you do have to do something different. And so what is something that you need to hold yourself accountable for? Are you ready to step into your purpose aligned business? Are you ready to step into your purpose aligned life? Are you ready to change something and get this different thing, this more that you want? Even though you may not know exactly what it is, it doesn't matter because God will show you along the way. He'll highlight, He will bring it to your attention. He will open doors and close doors. Multiple times I'll say, God, I can go two different directions. Open one like it's a garage door and slam the other one shut and lock it and show me the difference between the two. I'm pretty I need constant reminders. I need God to hit me over the head with it, which I hope I'm not alone there. There's times that He has to tell me over and over and over. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and He's like, yep, you ready now? And I was like, yes. What do you want? What are you willing to give up in order to get it? And really, it's the giving up the expectations, giving up the self-doubt, giving up the I don't knows, I should, or the it's never been done. And just try it. What you're going to get from it, the confidence, the self-worth, the feeling that you're accomplishing something, the impact, the connection with God that you can have when you start stepping into obedience. It's hard I can't even explain it. That's the hard part is until you start experiencing it, you don't even, it's once you step into it, you never want to go back. I'm willing to get uncomfortable. I'm willing to try something different and fall hard because I know that God will pick me up and I know that it can be used for good. I know that there's a silver lining. There's everything I can take from, whether I succeed or I fall, I can take something from it. And I know you can too. So what are you willing to do? And what are you willing to hold yourself accountable to? What do you want? I encourage you to get clear today and just ask yourself, okay, insert your name. And okay, Tami, I'll just use my name because what is it that I want 5 years from now? What is it that I want 1 year from now? And what may be easier is what have I been doing that I don't want to do anymore? And procrastination is one of those. I have really healthy ways to procrastinate that are not healthy. Like I can justify them. I mentioned that I'm a justifier. Well, we don't have to procrastinate. We don't have to justify. We can hold ourselves accountable and say, okay, I don't know all of this, but I know this little part and I will do that. And I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to push past my fears and hold myself accountable because what I want matters. What I want to show my kids is possible matters. The freedom that I want from getting uncomfortable matters. I hope this landed for someone. I felt like I'm rambling a little bit, but I mean, the theme is there. To hold yourself accountable, do something different, push past the beliefs that you hold because just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true. What do you need to believe and where is the evidence that you've done something hard before and succeeded? That it's possible. Because I know you have evidence of that. I know you do. And so as I'm looking at my notes here, I think I hit most of the things. There's some things that I was going to tell you about. So sometimes when you go in a direction and you realize that it's not the right way, it doesn't fit your lifestyle. So we had the great idea, Kyle and I and the family were like, oh, let's start a donut truck, a mini donut truck. And it's great. We did all the research. We did all the it's a viable business and it's actually a 6-figure plus business with one trailer, which we built the trailer. We did all of this. We started and we realized it does not fit. Like in the year that it took to build it, our life had shifted so much. My business has grown. His business has grown. The kids now are doing other things and they're teenagers but they can't drive the trailer somewhere. And so the time, it doesn't fit our lifestyle. So here's an example of we went in a direction and it was the wrong one. The silver lining is now we are selling a business that is a viable, that can bring someone else financial freedom, someone who it fits their lifestyle. So it's not a failure. It's okay, now we can, like, we're praying about the right people to buy this mini donut business. But for a little while, we pushed it because we're like, well, we did all this work. It's like we wasted a year of our life. We had to shift our perspective. We had to hold ourselves accountable and say, but this is not working for us. It's too stressful. It's taking up our weekends where we live on a farm. We have chores to do. We have a lot of maintenance, and going in on a 4 or 5 hour donut gig on Saturdays and Sundays was not conducive with our life, and it was adding undue stress. So that's an example of, like, we had to shift. We had to get clear. We had to decide that it was not a failure. It's a redirection. It's not a failure because we built this amazing business that someone's going to buy and be able to have their own business and have their security and their freedom. But so there's silver linings. So nothing's wasted. That's what I wanted to tell you about that. Is like, nothing's wasted, even though it wasn't right for us. And we had to humble ourselves to realize it's like, no, we can't do this. We are killing ourselves for something that we actually don't enjoy doing. Like, it's just another thing to do. It's not who we're being. And so that's just an example. Anyway, everything can be used for good, but you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to define things. You have to get clear, and you have to decide if you're willing to take the actions to get what you want, because it doesn't just magically appear. It doesn't just happen, but you are worth it. You are worthy of it. You do deserve it, and know that with it, you can make an impact. It's not selfish. I guarantee there is ripple effects. It's going to show your kids. It's going to show it's supporting your family, supporting your community. It's supporting the people that that your business or your thing serves. It's going to make an impact. But you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to get clear with what you want and what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And one thing that I told myself I'm not willing to do is I'm not willing to give up. I will fall. I will have scraped knees. I will try again. I will humble myself and say, okay, this didn't work. And I will pivot and I will go. All right. With that, I'm going to close. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, we have a challenge coming up at the end of July 22nd, and it's a permission to pivot. We're going to talk about this. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to not do? How are you holding yourself accountable? And what do you define what you want? What are we defining it by? Like, we're defining it right now by expectations and by responsibilities. And there's an and in there. There's a way to release some expectations and pivot into something that God has for you. So if you want to join the challenge, it's a 5-day challenge, join the Facebook group to get all the information. All the signups and everything will be coming soon. I just haven't done that part yet, but it's there. So join us in our Facebook group, Divine Destiny, Living a Purpose-Aligned Life. Come hang out with me in there. And yeah. All right. Oh, this was I'm tired now. After working through this on myself and then just kind of doing this for you. Yeah, I think I'm going to go get a cup of tea and sit for a few moments and just, again, celebrate the changes that I made, but then hold myself accountable, because if I want something different, I have to do something different. And I'm willing to do something different because I know that it's worth it. I know that being obedient to God and partnering with Him is worth it. All right, friend. With that, choose joy until joy chooses you. I will see you in the Facebook group. I will see you on the 5-day challenge. And if you're ready to really talk about what the more is for you, if you're ready to start your purpose-aligned business, figure out what your purpose is so you can step into it, DM me or use the link in the show notes and get on my calendar and let's talk. All right, with that, choose joy until joy chooses you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.